to Teen Traffic Safety Day, brought to you by the County Traffic Safety Program and Stop DWI Program. So we'll be guiding you through this mock DWI and distracted driving crash today as a part of Teen Traffic Safety Day.
You've received a lot of information today regarding safe driving techniques, including not texting while driving, wearing seatbelts, keeping your eyes on the road, and never getting into a vehicle with an impaired driver. Our role today will be to show you what can happen if you ignore these safe driving techniques and help explain what you are seeing as this crash scene develops. Please consider the possibility that none of us are immune to a tragedy of this magnitude. A crash like this could happen in a split second and change our lives forever.
The local agencies who have designed this scenario have worked for several months, and we hope that you will have your undivided attention for the next hour. The events you are about to see are incredibly real for the actors and for all of the responding emergency personnel.
Let me take a moment to describe this crash scene for you. Picture yourself at the intersection of Main Street and Front Street right here in the city of Binghamton. It's a Friday night at about midnight. The bluish green car you see here, we'll call Vehicle 1, and it has a couple passengers in the front seat and the back seat. All are 18-year-old high school seniors and are coming from a movie theater over by BROOME Community College. They're traveling down Front Street toward Riverside Drive to head home. The second vehicle, the red vehicle, is traveling on Main Street and is driven by a high school senior. A couple more high school seniors are in the back seat and another one is in the front seat. They're heading downtown to meet some people they were just at a party with. The bluish-green car, vehicle number 1, as the car approaches the intersection of Main Street and Front Street, the driver receives a text message and begins to read it. He doesn't see the light change from green to yellow to red, and the car is suddenly destroyed by vehicle number 2, the red vehicle, as it flies through the intersection.
Where's the crash? We're here at the church from Main Street in Front Street, across from Binghamton.
How many people are hurt?
It was really bad. The kids and people were in the track, and in front of me, he put his hands on my arm. It was really bad. I think he's moving. Come back.
Is there any smoke or fire?
Yes, there's smoke.
Okay, we're sending help now.
Front Street, Main Street, for 251 vehicle accident, recording serious injury and driver. Lincoln Fireman steering wheels, Front Street and Main Street, recording 251 vehicle accident, serious injury and driver. 1202, detail about So, Captain Anderson, responding 0004.
Four people in the first vehicle, had a person
I'd like to draw your attention to the arena clock, which has been set to 60 minutes. 60 minutes set on the clock represent what is called the golden hour of trauma, which is the time of the crash until the time that major trauma patient needs to arrive at definitive care. Definitive care is defined as ensuring that the major trauma patient arrives at an area or regional trauma center in less than 1 hour. Major trauma patients who have an out-of-hospital time in excess of 60 minutes for such reasons as prolonged extrication or rescue, or even a simple fact that the incident is in a very rural or remote area, are much less likely to survive. Time can be a killer to these seriously injured trauma patients. Definitive care for a trauma patient is defined as being at a trauma center and in the operating room where a dedicated team of trauma professionals can operate to correct life-threatening hemorrhage and help patients survive who might have otherwise died from severe injuries in childhood. You'll notice that everyone has a particular job to do. It might even seem to you like they're moving a little bit slowly, but these are people that are severely injured. You don't want to rush the actions we're taking to help them. We want to be very careful. There's a lot of safety factors involved here. You'll also notice that the police officers are just beginning to start what their role will be here in this investigation of this crash. First police officers on the scene, even though right now this is primarily a fire and EMS incident, are doing a scene size up. Remember, you're doing, in addition to keeping the scene safe, we're also at the very beginning of what may be a criminal investigation. So they'll be looking at the positions of the cars, what may have been lying down on the ground before they got hurt. They're going to look at who is sitting where in each car as part of the investigation, looking for any additional evidence that may help them figure out what happened here.
Oh my God! What is going on? Are they okay? Stay there, please.
Well, the fire department uses the jaws of life to begin the extrication in the blue car. You'll see that a couple of EMS workers are talking to the people in the red car. What they're doing is assessing their conditions, reassuring them that you're going to have help here, keeping people stable who need to stay immobilized. The other thing to notice is that everybody who's working with tools on the cars has different types of safety equipment. Firefighters working with a powerful tool and glass, sharp edges of metal are outfitted for our goggles, helmets, and their turnout gear. The EMS workers, notice how they have reflective vests. Don't forget this incident is at night in the busy intersection. And those vests also help identify who everyone is and the job that they have on the scene. Firefighters and EMS personnel on the scene will also each have their own safety officers whose job is to stand back and watch that all operations are being conducted in the safest manner possible. On the blue car, you'll see that the firefighters have moved on to the red car, so the EMS personnel are able to get into the patients in the blue car. You see we have a lot of sharp edges there that we have to work around. It's still a very confined space. We have several severely injured people. What the initial first responders have done is assess everyone's condition. That started with the first firefighters on the scene. They relayed that information to the EMS personnel as they were showing up. The EMS personnel have spoken with the people in the cars who were able to speak to them to assess their conditions. So they do it both by talking to the person and by visual inspection of the person. And now they'll slowly and carefully be moving them out. This is, as I said before, a very methodical process, very organized, but very slow. Don't forget, this takes place at a very busy intersection, so in addition to the scene investigation, the police officers would also have to be thinking about traffic control around the scene. So you would actually have several more officers, maybe a block or two away. The officers right here are starting to see who is sitting here in the cars. They're noting the positions of the cars. They will take handwritten notes. A severe accident like this, they'll also be taking measurements. They'll be finding out who the drivers were, what the drivers were doing at the time of the crash. with the most critical injuries will be moved from the scene first. So we see now 28 minutes in, at least 2 of the patients have been loaded into the ambulances and will be moved to the hospital. In the blue car, the roof has been removed. The front seat passenger has been found to be deceased. In the right car, most of the passengers were intoxicated, including the driver. Minor injuries in most everyone in the car. The police officers down toward the front of the scene, you see it laid down a measuring tape, and what they'll be doing is taking measurements off that tape toward the vehicles. They'll be marking positions of the 4 tires on each vehicle and positions of any other evidence that they might find, like items from the cars, skid marks, and so forth. The less severely injured people are pretty much all in the red car. That's why we've gone in this order with who gets EMS treatment first. So now the EMS personnel will be assessing them, determining whether or not they also need to be transported to the hospital. In a crash scene like this, it's not unusual for several members of the media to show up. After all, this is news. And if you could imagine just for a minute how your loved ones would feel if they saw you popping up on the news in an accident, you or your car involved in a time where they hadn't been contacted yet. Even though the people in the wreck are less severely injured, it's still important for them to be stabilized, so you'll notice different braces around their heads and their necks as they're on the stretchers or as they're being removed from the vehicles.
Oh my God. You know what have you done?
An important thing to know is how many people it takes to respond to a crash like this. It's not unusual for 30 or 40 different responders to be on the scene this severe.
My leg is killing me.
What's going on?
And now with most of the patients moved out of the way, the police officers are able to begin taking measurements for the scene. They'll be doing detailed drawings, sometimes computerized drawings. They'll be writing reports to be used later in any possible criminal prosecutions. The driver of the red car, who was just coming from a party with her friends, is still in there, and as sometimes happens, in the best shape of anybody at the scene concerning injuries.
Here's the thing for just a minute. Mistake. So, it's your truck? Okay. Do you have a driver's license? All right.
What the police officer is doing is asking some questions to the driver about where she's coming from, if she's had anything to drink tonight, maybe who was in the car, what her position was in the car. They're also asking her some questions about some items that were found in the car, which appears to be a bottle of beer and a small quantity of marijuana. Driver's telling the officer that she's had 3 beers. Now, the officer right now is going to be having our driver do what are called standardized field sobriety tests. Most agencies in the United States use these. It's a series of tests that helps the officer determine whether or not the person's blood alcohol content exceeds the legal limit. This first test is called the horizontal gaze nystagmus test. And what he's looking for is movement of her eyes. And he also instructed her not to move her head while she was doing this, and he saw that she did not follow his instructions. And the way that the eye movement tracks, especially in an intoxicated person, really limits their field of vision. So really a good test, but also a reason why that person should not be driving. This test is very simply called the one-leg test. The officer is giving the person instructions.
Okay.
The officer gives the person instructions to stand on one leg, but also tells her to count while she's doing it. A person who's intoxicated has trouble doing two different things at one time. So this is a test of balance, but also a test of the ability to perform multiple functions at once. And this last test is called the heel-toe test. And it again tests for the driver to have the ability to do multiple things at one time, including balance. So he's giving her instructions on how to count while she's doing it, how to walk, how many paces to go, how to turn around, and how many steps to take back. Now for a sober person, most sober people will be able to do this without a problem.
3. And then you're going to take 9 steps back, touching heel to toe every step, hands at your sides, and look down your feet the entire time, just like this. 1, 2, 3.
And just visually, you can see that she did not follow the instructions, and this is a really strong indicator that this person's blood alcohol content is too high for that person to be driving. The next test that the officer is going to use is a device called an alka sensor. And what the alka sensor does is test for the presence of alcohol in the person's breath, and consequently in their blood. This is a screening test used at roadside. If you're asked to take one of these tests as part of this investigation,
And you're going to place under arrest for driving while intoxicated.
you need to take it unless it's your option to refuse. But if you refuse, you're also ticketed for that offense. So that would be an extra ticket for you. Our driver's been placed under arrest. So be transported to a police station, in which the officers will ask her to again perform the same test that you just saw. And that would be on DVD or by DVR. And then, if she would be asked to take a more extensive breath test on a different instrument, a much more sophisticated instrument, and then either locked up or released to someone that she knows. In this case, we have a very severe injury and a fatality. In most cases, she would not be going anywhere tonight. As part of the investigation, you notice that we still have a fatality on the scene. The police would have contacted the county coroner, who responds to the scene, does an assessment on the person. So the coroner, Dr. Prindle, is on the scene. The officer will explain a little bit about the circumstances of the incident, and then Dr. Prindle will examine our deceased passenger. Dr. Prindle has examined our passenger and found that person to be deceased. The officers on the scene would then contact the local funeral director and have the body removed either to the hospital or to a funeral home, depending on the directions of Dr. Prindle. In most cases like this, an autopsy would be performed at the hospital and then the body released to the family.
Just to throw some information at it, according to the New York State Department of Motor Vehicles data, teen drivers continue to be disproportionately involved in motor vehicle crashes in Broome County. Contributing factors to these crashes involving young drivers include impaired driving, distracted driving, and low seatbelt compliance. In 2011, drivers between the ages of 16 to 20 make up 5% of the driving population, yet are involved in 13% of non-alcohol-related crashes. 752 drivers between the ages of 16 and 20 were involved in motor vehicle crashes. 23% of crashes were caused by driver inattention or distraction. 239 young people between the ages of 16 to 20 were injured or killed in motor vehicle crashes. Broome County only 2012, 31 drivers 20 years of age and younger were arrested for DWI. And in 2011, 11 drivers 20 years of age and younger were involved in alcohol-related infractions.
So the coroner has ordered that the body be transported to the hospital where an autopsy will be done, as I mentioned before. The police officers will remain on the scene, conducting an investigation that may take several hours. The families of everybody involved will be contacted, and the driver of the red car is in jail. I'll direct your attention to the screen on your right for a video. After that, I ask you to just please stay in your seats at the end of the video. We have one more thing for you. Through this incident, though, thank you for your attention and being a great audience. And I'd like you to great over at the video.
I killed a man. I was out with some friends. We were all drinking really heavily. Just hopping from bar to bar. Just trying to have a good time, and I lost control. You know, sometimes I drink because I have depression that I struggle with every day. And I just drink to get out of my head for a few hours. You know, I really don't like the person I become when I drink. I've ruined relationships in the past. I start fights. You know, I just generally become a person that people don't like being around. On that particular night, I made a mistake and got in my truck, completely blacked out, and decided to try to drive home. I ended up going the wrong way down the highway, directly into oncoming traffic, and I struck a car. I killed a man. Immediately following that, I consulted some high-powered attorneys who told me stories about similar cases where the drivers got off. They were convinced that they could get my blood test thrown out, and all I would have to do for that was lie. Well, I won't go down that path.
My name is Matthew Cordell, and on June 22nd, 2013, I hit and killed Vincent Canzani. This video will act as my confession. When I get charged, I will plead guilty and take full responsibility for everything I've done to Vincent and his family. If I took a different route, maybe I would get a reduced sentence and maybe I would get off. But I won't dishonor Vincent's memory by lying about what happened. By releasing this video, I know exactly what it means. I'm handing the prosecution everything they need to put me away for a very long time. But I'm willing to take that sentence for just one reason, and that reason is so I can pass this message on to you. I beg you, and I say the word beg specifically, I'm begging you, please don't drink and drive. Don't make the same excuses that I did. Don't say it's only a few miles, or you've only had a few beers, or you do it all the time, it'll never happen to you. Because it happened to me. And all of those are just excuses to make yourself feel better about a decision that you know is wrong and could cost lives. I can't bring Mr. Canzani back. And I can't erase what I've done. But you can still be saved. Your victims can still be saved. So please,